Not often I'm left speechless, but my God. Oh, I want to cry. Look at that game. And it all came down to this minute as well. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I think I will. You'll have to bear with me in this one. It was just what a finish to the Six Nations. Really incredible and oh, heartbreaking. Oh, that game was end to end. Like I mean, just at the end, for an amazing Irish game. Just a shout out moment for Louis BLBRE or the Beep Beep. My brother asked me why he's called the Beep Beep. Well, just a moment to explain. So his initials are LBB, and that makes the noise of Roadrunner, which is nee nee. Apparently it's nee nee, but it's like beep beep. Um, just in case there was any confusion. And never have I been cheering for England so much. I was there saying, "Do it for Joe Hayes' mum, Rachel." Joe was thinking of Ireland in that game. Wow, what a performance! But it all came down to this moment at the end. What a game! To start off with, right? Louis Bielbieri is a beast, and he did what he does best. That chip kick in behind by Jalibert or Ramos has become synonymous with French rugby. It's Ramos again who puts it in. And just look at the time. Now, I have to admit, and now I take off my green tinted glasses for a second. Watching this game, I felt a few decisions did definitely go against England. But that's because I wanted them to win. And never have I been cheering for an England team so much. It's never been a day to cheer for an English team as an Irish man. It's the most Irish thing you can do today was to cheer for England. But this try set, we were thinking France were going to break away. Like, look at that time. Perfect. Really good time. And then no way should he win this, but he always does. Like, even if you just look at that, I don't want to be highlighting too much because I'm devastated I haven't got the energy in me. But look where this kick is picked up. Like right here, it's a 50-50, but he gets it and he's in. And you think from there, France are going to break away. But England, to their credit, stuck and Roebuck slides in. And look, they really exploited this space well. Really good play. Just that you can't support that image. And England as well in the scrum were dominant. Like they powered through France. I felt like there should have been more penalties against France in the scrum, but say la vie. This one, like, don't really know who'd be a front rower. Like the kicks are always perfect in fairness to France. Like, and that's the thing. Like, look what they're faced with. The kick is timed to perfection. The beep beep comes up here. Four tries in one game. He really is something else. He's just a special player. And yeah. So then France score. Brilliant kick by Jalibert, has to be said. And now the beep beep wins the race every time. He's just too good. And then you think, okay, France are going to get the ascendancy. But no, Ramos, the bastard, he just doesn't miss. He just never misses, does he? But England come back again. They keep working this short side. Well done, Caden Murley brought back into the team. He was in the team against Ireland last year, and then he missed out every single game after because he made a couple of errors. He did get a try, but he showed his worth in this game as well. In fairness, too. And you have to ask yourself, where was this performance for England for the whole competition? Ramos takes his points. You can just hear La Marseillaise blaring around him. And the thing is, let's take a moment just to appreciate how good Tomo Ramos is. Like, they call it Le Crunch, and with good reason. Like, England, again, came back. It was tit for tat every time. They sucked in the defenders against a massive French pack. Like, two tries for Chessup. That's impressive. I think flanker might be his best position. You could say he was around the neck of Miafu, who England kept kicking to. Tom Roebuck must have been knackered by the end of that game because they kept kicking it to this big mofo and he ran it back with interest. And Finn Smith had a pretty decent game as well, to be fair to him. Like, in fairness, England were quite good. Um, but that scoreline is just these bloody ads. It will skip. Had he got those two conversions, though, look, that's a good one. And now, like, I was there thinking England are the better team. England could win this. The Mall, like, they were getting advantage after advantage, and they just kept going forward. This game was not good for the heart. He had a really good game as well. England as a whole played so well, and you're just saying to yourself, where was this performance? Like, this was the performance England should have been given week in, week out. And Bardia has to kind of wonder, was that just because of Steve Borthwick? Have they just gone, fuck you, we're playing how we want to play because your game plan clearly hasn't worked? And it has to be said because Northampton go and they beat Leinster in the Champions Cup last season. So it's an English team with a lot of English players that were in this squad. Finn Smith had a really good game, and he did a lot more in attack than George Ford. I think Marcus Smith and Finn Smith, it's kind of like the debate that we've been having, only with a much younger player in Sam Prendergast. And I get to him, don't worry, we will. But, oh, great pass by Chesham. He had to be one of the contenders for man of the match. He hasn't gotten enough mention on my channel, and I'm going to do a breakdown of every team and their top players. But the engine on Ollie Chesham, like the fact that he can switch from second row to back row, that he got two tries in such a tight game, an intercept try, and then set up his second row partner. Well, Alex Cole's another back row slash second row. It was backwards, by the way. Definitely. You get the picture, right? It's a lot of tit for tat. England got in a great position. This was actually, we have to take a moment because this was very impressive from Vin Smith. Part of me is wondering, should he start drop kicking? Does he fancy taking up sevens where they have to drop kick? Because it falls off the tee and without hesitating, picks it up and watch what he does here. Brilliant. So that's a very unnerving moment because now the clock is winding down. You can see it there. The clock's going to keep ticking anyway, regardless of if he puts it back on the tee or not. So just to then take that moment and take the kick and to bisect the posts like that, that was so good. And now you're thinking England are on top. That's the thing about this game. And the Wallies. I couldn't tell if they were French or English at first. And this is like a really good position. You know, you look at that scoreboard, 10 points ahead in Paris. and you're there just thinking to yourself, okay, this is a great position. And as an Irish fan, you're thinking, we could still win this, boys. Get your suits on because we could still win the championship. Triple Crown was in the bag, but Six Nations Grand Slam was gone. But we still could have got the championship and the Triple Crown. And then this happens. It was just madness. I wonder, was Emmanuel Miafu in here illegally? I was wondering that. You see how he comes in around the side and shields off. The French media are great at choosing what moments they play and what moments they don't because there's the ball there. It's with Thibaut Flamand. It looks to me like there's crossing from an obstruction from the lifters in the lineup, and Miafu comes in here. He's joined in there from the side. I mean, if anyone can explain it to me, please do. But is that not obstruction there? Because this is a big moment in the game. This leads to a penalty try and a yellow card for Ellis Genge, which massively sways the tie in France's favour. See how they peel off here and he takes him down. I wonder, was Miafu infringing? Penalty try, Genge to the bin, massive decision. And France got into their flow. When they do, they're lethal. That's the thing. They didn't have a great game. Timo Mathieu had a very tough day at the office. Very tough debut for him. But it's a Six Nations debut anyway. I know he played down under, but yeah, I barely noticed him. It was a very tough day for him. But in fairness, it was a hard game to get into. He just kept praying a pass was forward or something, some infringement. We were praying for it, weren't we, as Irish fans? They just keep that ball alive so well. Like Oliver to get it off the ground. You saw that pass versus the one to Tommy Freeman through with the shins, the Ben Spencer, which I also thought, could they have checked that? Did that hit the shins, not the hands? We'll never know. But because Oliver gets that away at the right time and France just keep the ball alive, when they get it going, it's a sight to behold. The chaotic, free flow rugby, that's France's bread and butter. Or bear a baguette, the big baguette from La Patisserie. Patisserie. I do love La Patisserie. Like if he just goes to ground there, England get back, but he doesn't. He keeps it alive, and that's the important thing. And he doesn't throw it here, which is also important because Jalibert, Francois Carreau could have knocked it on, and then Dupont do the rest. And that man would certainly do the rest. So you get there, you're there thinking, okay, mountain to climb. Mountain to climb for England. And look where that kick is from Ramos. That's just something else. He's just too good. This freaks me out. You can create any character you want in 2 seconds. No, no, thank you. You're not stealing my data. Bye bye. Not into the AI thing. Oh, and now France move on, get another try. And you're there thinking, okay, it's curtains for England now. To get an advantage, you just look at the scoreboard. And Dupont did not have his best game. Two very poor performances by his standards. And that's the thing, he can still do this. He taps and goes. Teo Adesogbe, who's been excellent. You know, we forget about him because of how good Labik Beep is, but France is just so good at thinking quick and go. And that's what they did here. And he will be thanking Dupont for that one. And you look at that scoreboard now. Just look where it is, though. Like, look where Ramos actually is taking this kick. He just does not miss. And it sails in. And now France were on the attack again. You still see that yellow, so Genge wasn't back on the field yet. They're 11 points clear, and now they're starting to find their rhythm, which is exactly why this moment was so big for England and Ollie Chesham take about, because As bad as England have been, he has been excellent throughout the whole tournament. He reads it perfectly. Those big long arms, the ginger in him must be Irish. Whatever it was, he had a great game and looked like he was doing his best to make sure Ireland got that Six Nations. He still had a fair bit to run. Like Jalibert is coming back, BLBRE is going back, so is Ramos, and he has the pace to go in. Like he's got some pace. I thought he should have kind of straightened up there if he could. If he just ran in there. And the reason for that is because we'll get to it at the end. I don't want to spoil it, but you probably already know. But look where he runs from. Like BLBRE is not far away, and he just keeps going. He should have just kept. Like look where he is. He had the pace. I was just looking at that where he gets it. Yeah, I know he's going wide because he wants to give himself more of an angle, to cut in. But I've done it myself, where you're not as quick as the back that's going back to tackle you. But he makes it very difficult for Finn Smith. Oh, like he did so well. He got the try, but look, he could have at least snuck in around there. Just brought it in a bit closer because this was the make or break moment, really. Like when it comes down to it, and Finn Smith misses this kick. He got it off the drop kick. He should have drop kicked it, and it just goes wide. Oh, this game had everything. They went through these phases so well and just kept breaking down France. Earl had a big game out of him. He's been good. He really has. And Jack Van Borgfleet was good. I have never been overly impressed with him, but he actually had quite a good impact when he came on. Ben Spencer was excellent when he was on, but Van Borgfleet added more zip. That's what they were saying. And he has a big long box kick on him, but Ben Spencer Ben Spencer just seems to manage the game better, I would say. He's better at the passing and more of a physical ball carrier. But Van Borgfleet showed me something I've never really seen from him. Maybe that's because I don't watch the Aviva Premiership, but he was very quick and scanning as well. Usually when I see him, he's kicking or making stupid decisions. Here he was scanning the pitch, looking like a good scrum half should. Says the guy who never. Well, I've actually scored a few tries by sniping from the ruck like a scrum half. So, and then Marcus Smith does really well to finish because he could whip that across. I think Tommy Freeman is kind of taking away the passing channel. He does really well here. And he gets his kick as well, which is a huge one. Really good kick. But as France do, they fought back. Like, let's look at that and just break it down. So it became a try out of absolutely nothing when you look at it. So England just fought back to get the lead. And now look, the chip through. Then Earl, if he gathers that and passes it up to Seb Atkinson, oh, you just think of what could have been. But he knocks it on here. Ramos picks it up. And look how quick France turned defences to attack. That is the difference right there. One box kick over the top, and La Beep Beep. Say La Vie. He's gone. He's just so fast. Like, he's just never going to be caught. And he does the rest. Oh, I thought maybe he was offside, but I thought he's so quick, maybe he got there legally. And you look at it here, yeah, he's right in line. Just get it back there if we can freeze frame it. I'm like a TMO again. Yeah, no, he's on. For anyone wondering, he was definitely onside once that ball leaves Antoine Dupont's boot. And look at that space for move myself up. All that space. Oh, they're so good at transition from defence to attack. There was a big issue with this because they looked like a deliberate knock on in there from France. And the referee, Nika Amushakeli, who I think is a very good ref, the Georgian fella, I didn't know that it was clear that it was a knock on advantage, which is what he said afterwards. And then he said advantage over. England kicked it thinking they had a penalty advantage. And to be fair, it looked like a deliberate knock on from Francois Crow, I think it was, in the tackle. The French media, again, doing their best not to play it. But I thought England could have been, you know, very hard done by for that decision. Well, he does the rest. Four tries in such a big game. And Ramos. But the fun didn't stop there. Bamba infringed. Early drive in the ball, you think, okay, this is where England are going to take the lead. They didn't show, but France held England up. Charles Olivon doing a brilliant piece of defence to actually pull, I think it was Luke Cowan-Dickey, over the try line to get it held up and then get a goal line dropout. But England came back. Of course, they did so well here. Really good ball retention, big carries. This is what Van Poortvliet did really well. He looked down the left, then went back to the right because it was the better option. And the big fellas just kept carrying. Anyone else think Trevor Davison looks like a plasterer from Newcastle? I think he is actually from Newcastle. Newcastle man, why I? But he looks like a plasterer showing up to the building site. It's a real ordinary looking guy. And then I think you can get the advantage here. Yep. Free play. Good carry by Underhill. And then Tommy Freeman through the gap. Brilliant moment. And you're there thinking, surely now England have done Ireland a massive favour after a huge fought win, and now we're going to win the Six Nations. That's what we thought. I was thinking, will you hold on to it a bit longer, put the ball down, then the clock runs into the red. Great try. The celebrations were massive. A lot of people are getting sick of Henry Pollock, but like he was running along as if he'd scored the try. You have to admire the enthusiasm, but at the same time, Marcus Smith rushed this conversion. I was terrified he was going to miss it because look how fast he kicks it. And at this point, we're thinking Triple Crown and Six Nations, baby. Yes. But in typical fashion for Ireland, it never is that simple. We're always on the edge of our seats, and then we have to deal with a crushing defeat. Now, I can't believe they haven't shown it, but just to give you a little idea, if you haven't watched it already, I'm presuming you have if you're here, but England defended phase after phase. France were going nowhere. Henry Pollock ripped the ball clean, and then instead of holding on to it, he tried to play it. And then France got the ball back, but on the halfway line, so they were pushed right back. And then a high tackle penalty and a deliberate knock on. So there was one over here at the halfway line, and Ramos really didn't fancy that one. And then he thought that he had a kick closer in. Um, And you were there thinking, right, England have held out. They've done Ireland a massive solid. Joe Hayes' mum, Rachel, will be proud of him. Ben Earl apparently has a bit of Irish heritage too. There's a few England players with Irish and Scottish heritage, but this was crushing. When I say this was a crushing blow, my God, my heart just exploded and then died. You're there thinking, okay, you've gotten them all now, but you've got to miss in you, you prick. You're gonna miss. You're gonna miss. But you got to say some nerve. You've got some nerve because it's such a tight game. You've had a massive campaign. You know, a really disappointing result against Scotland, and a very poor performance, it must be said, by the French team standards. The nerves that must have been in Tomo Ramos, especially given what had gone on before with all the pushing and shoving between Batoje, who shouldn't be getting involved in that as captain, had a good game, but that's why I don't like him as a captain, because I just feel like he gets involved in the off the ball stuff far too often for a captain and a leader. But given all the nonsense that had gone on with France trying to claim that it was closer in, I actually think the referee, Amos Kelly, said over here, and they stole a few yards. There were a few things now France did which were a bit sneaky, but oh, devastation. There's Joshua Brennan, the Frenchman with the thick Dublin accent. Well, I say Dublin, Leixlip is where Trevor Brennan is from, which is Kildare, so it's North Kildare. But yeah, it's funny listening to him speaking French and then going into Jesus, yeah. Anyone ever hear that interview by Daniel Brennan? Brennan, just in case you don't know. Um, Daniel Brennan was the captain for the French under 20s when they won the championship, the under 20 World Championship, and he was absolutely delighted. Brilliant. I have to say, Josh is the image of Trevor Brennan, and the spitting image, Rugby Jackal. What do you think about that? This moment was just, oh, and he nails it right down the middle of the prick. Doesn't even hit it. Well, I suppose if it hit off the post and went over, you'd be like, oh my God, even more devastation. I know how you feel, Jamie. Everyone in Ireland had that same face, that moon face. Oh, absolute heartbreak. Oh, just devastation, really. And then actually, I'm just going to go out because we all invested heavily in England that day. Today we were really invested in them. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to share my screen again because we all put a lot of time into supporting England for a little while, hoping they would do us a favour. I even went a little bit further than that. Sorry, I need to get out of this now. There we go. As you'll see, I made a few posts showing how a couple of us had changed our allegiances. Well, we never stopped supporting Ireland. The only reason we were supporting England was for Ireland. We haven't seen it already. Good old Jerry in his England kit, looking dapper. Very dapper indeed, Jerry. Oh. And this one, I just cannot tell you how devastated I am right now. I'm still getting over it. It was heartbreaking, truly. We also had this one. There were a couple now. This one had to be up there. Absolutely right now. Praying for an English victory was the most Irish thing you could do, and obviously this was while the game was on. No one wants to be seen supporting England, but they've got the jersey and the bag on their head with the eyes cut out. The eye holes are there. Oh, nobody saw France losing to England, really. I said it beforehand, and then when the game was on, I was like, hold on, they could actually do this. Setting race relations back or Irish English relations back years with that. Stop sharing now. Um, what a final. It really was. Like, that was incredible. Great win for Ireland. I'm going to review every single game, and like Ireland played brilliantly. They really did, and that makes it all the more devastating. 43-21 against Scotland, like they absolutely annihilated them. Ireland did their bit, and the fact that that game ended the way it did, oh, absolute heartbreak. So Ireland ended up on 19 points, France with 21. They got the bonus point win, which is the important thing. They only need to win, but they did everything they had to do. That's the thing, like we didn't do what we had to do. Like, even just look at this Irish performance. I'm only going to show you a little bit of it because I don't want it to be too long. So we get into it now. Like, you just look at some of the tries Ireland scored. Did get the triple crown, and our championship hopes remain alive. But absolutely squandered after this. It was so upsetting. More ads, bear with me. Slow in there. It's a pretty good stat, to be fair. Ranked second in line out success, 93.6. But Scotland there last, which, is associate them with having a really good line out. Tyke Byrne, the beast, doing what he does best. Joined first in the competition for line out steals. He steals everything. He's a thief. He's basically a pickpocket of rugby. That's what he should be nicknamed, and I mean that in the most respectful way. Another massive shift out of him. Very good. Like what Chesham is to England, Tyke Byrne is there. Just a workhorse. This try was so good as well. Like, really well worked. Great carry. Great carry again, out the back door, and then brilliant pass here. And he hits Osborne into a gap. Just want to give a mention for Jack Crowley, because he's come under a bit of fire. And just to put it into context, if you include the first half of the Italian game and all of the French game, where Sam Prendergast was leading the line of 10, we were behind on the scoreboard, right? Like we lost heavily to France and we barely beat Italy, and we could have beaten them with the bonus point. I know Jack Crowley made a poor kick and put the ball dead in that corner there, which you won't want to see again. But in all three games in the Six Nations where he has started as the fly half, we have won with a bonus point. Every single one of them. 5 points from each game. Whereas with Sam Prendergast on the field, and he came off and Jack Crowley added a lot to the attack, it has to be said. Out of two games, we got 4 points. I think that's giving them too much credit, if I'm being honest. You know, and like, you want to say that they were easy games, like, I'll cut Ireland some slack for the Welsh game because they got the winning bonus point. It might not have been a great performance, but to get that 5 points in the bag is so important. And that's the main thing. That's the important thing, is getting that 5 points. even when you play badly. And we did that against Wales, and Crowley had a hand in that by scoring a try of his own. And it's not as if the games were easy. We had Scotland, who were in good form coming into this. They just beat France at Murrayfield, and they scored so many tries. They were scoring tries for fun. I think what they got 7 tries, eight tries even. I think it was 7. They got 7. France got 6. 6-7. Of course, it has to be there. Did the reverse, but they were lethal, and they got a couple of tries in this game too. But we shut them down, and we beat England in Twickenham. I think everybody will admit that was a game we all thought we were going to lose for the most part. Anyway, some people get like I thought Ireland could win. Definitely, there was enough there, and I was more confident with Jack Crowley leading the line. But he just looks more dangerous. He takes the ball to the line and isn't afraid to get a big hit put in on him. And here he just hits that pass perfectly. And then Osborne is in under the sticks. He's also had a really good Six Nations, considering how difficult it was for him against France. He's come back with a bang in fairness. When you consider that fullback isn't his natural position, I think we can cut up some slack and say he's done quite well. Really good play. The Scotland hit back, to be fair. No, he got his kick, I mean, but it's probably obvious because it was right in front of the post. Faz was just keeping his excitement in. He was there going, and then, yeah. Well, he nails it. And he hands the tee back. I always like to see that. Scotland did hit back, to be fair, with a good piece of play. And like, look at that. 18 phases they go through here. 19. And then, like, to be fair, really good pass out here. They work it very well. They've got a lethal backline when it gets going. Good hit by O'Brien, to be fair. That was very well worked. But to be fair to us, we hit back immediately. We did what we had to do. On into another break now. No, get into it now. One sec. When I get premium back just for these videos, Russell nailed the kick. But we work this well as we can get them all going, and it shows the variety that we could score. Really good peel off by Dan Sheehan here because it looked like it was stopped. Breaks off. Brilliant. Well worked. See there. Really good peel off. Look how tight it is here. How many people are in there? It looks like we've lost it, but Sheenu peels off so well. Look, it just comes out of nowhere and peels off. Really good. Crowley misses this kick, so oh no, he got this one. He missed the other one, didn't he? Yeah, that was a difficult one. Why are there question marks over Jack Crowley? Like, why weren't there more over Prendergast? Feels like Crowley has to do a lot more perfectly than Prendergast had to. Well, he did quite well here. Our scrum was much better, I have to say. Like the positioning, it was a real platform for us to win penalties and get over the gain line. See it here, like the shift we put in, and we worked this one so well. Look at that. Big stew, take a bow. Let's look at that. Like, just look where he throws it from versus where he ends up. That's one hell of a pass for such a big man as well, who has all the big bruiser skills, a big ball carrier. Staying is far too far off, is far too far. He's way too far off his left wing. He bites in so much here. Darcy Graham does well to cover across, like what Balogun did against England for Tommy Freeman, who nearly scored a try against us. But look at this pass. That is such a good pass. We start like on the left hand goal post and it ends up all the way out near the touchline. Brilliant in the height of it as well, and a great finish by Balogun. Great try. He's a really good finisher. So just look how we work this. Let's see now. That's where McCluskey is here taking this. And then he comes, yeah, just to the left hand upright. And look how far he draws that. In one motion as well. Like he doesn't pause and double pump, just whips it across like any good fly half would. Crowley'd be proud of that one. And Balogun takes it brilliantly. And that, I believe, is McCluskey's fifth try assist. So he may not have scored any tries, but he's certainly contributed to a lot of good Irish play. I think he's the standout performer of the Irish Six Nations squad. Ty Byrne has been brilliant as always, but McCluskey has come in and added so much, a different dimension, really. Good to see Bundy Aki back as well. Graham makes up a lot of ground, but Balogun finishes this brilliantly. Because he still has a lot to do here, and he does it very well. Graham gets him, but he has enough just to get to the line. Really good interplay by Ringrose and Big Stew. He gets the ball in brilliantly. Definitely backwards. Look where it ends up. And a really good finish. He keeps his feet up. I just want to look at it there. So we look at it now. We break it down. Oh, tries to pull him out, but he can't. Such a good finish. Keeps the foot up there. Yeah, it just keeps cutting out. He does so well to stay in here. Can't stop it at the right moment. He got it though. Crowley misses this one, which is out on the touchline, and to be fair, very difficult kick. That's all. That's the only one he missed, I think. Scotland came back though. Scotland really came back. And Russell hit this line very well. He fixed the man in really well and then just went through the gap. It was a good finish. They sucked in the defenders really well, and it was a very good finish, to be fair. Because it's so fast, Ireland don't have enough time to react, and Russell takes it. Douglas goes to the line and just powers over. It was a good finish. Because we could have dealt with that better. We could have just jammed in on him. I think Gibson Park should probably come and trust that Shane will help make that tackle. If we look at it again, we look at it from this position. We've got him covered. Just jam in. Tommy O'Brien's got that covered. If we all just jam in, cut that pass off, no offload here. But easier said than done. It was a good finish, and he powered over well. He converted it too. Luke Pearce made him move over further to the right. So he was definitely making sure that Russell took it from the right place. That's for sure. We worked this so well. The big moment for Dara Murray, 55 caps, I believe, for Connacht. Never scored one try, and on his debut for Ireland, he gets a try. Everyone was praising Caelan Doris, but it was Murray. Is it Murray or Murray? Everybody keeps saying Murray, but I don't know. Ben White picking battles with someone twice his size. He's a bit of a mouthpiece, isn't he? Scotland did well, yeah, but there's just something unlikable about a couple of their players. Darcy Graham was really giving it big. giving it a lot of talk before the game. Well, we shut him up. Really good patience here as well, and a great finish. Darts for the line. Well done, well done. And Faz can't contain himself. We've all been there. Get the lawnmower ready 30 minutes ago. Always look busy. That dead stuff, really. So we get that try. Really good finish here, like the way he steps inside Max Williamson and dots it down. Really good finish. Really good. He got the try. Definitely got it. Nailed by Crowley. Scotland came back at us again. They worked it well and then hit this line. And he ran through very well. Rory Darge, who has been a really good workhorse for Scotland. Thought he got a very lucky turnover in the first half. Thought his hands in the ruck, clear as day, and the ref didn't give it. I don't like Luke Pearce as a ref. I know a few people say they think English refs are the best in the world. I strongly disagree. I think Welsh referees and Nigel Welsh refs for me are the best in the world. Nika Kelly's quite good too. So the one George, but he's representing them well. Irish refs too, but unfortunately we can never get them in the game. Alan Roland, Frank Murphy, and John Lacey, all good refs in my opinion. Good finish by Darge. And you look at the scoreboard here. So at this stage it was 26-21, and you think to yourself, Ireland are going to be caught. Little push by Ringrose. They're working so well, to be fair. They've got a great back line, it has to be said. Look how well they work this move. Stain makes a break down the side, then the wing. Steps in. He was very quiet today, Stain, and we kept him out of the game well. Hugh Jones just getting that off. That was a good offload right at the feet of Russell, and he picked it up well. He was on his game today, and then they hit this line superbly well. These are the two second rows, so fair play. Scotland did well here, and then it's Williamson to Gilchrist, Grant Gilchrist, who had quite the shiner on his left eye, but he hit up his open side flanker perfectly. So you just look at it again, stuttering. I apologize. Dry. Really good skill by the big man. So you see here, Lucid Pro, 1 second round, another one. Really good hands. Great pass by Williamson. Gilchrist takes to the line and puts Darge through a brilliant gap. He commits Balakoon perfectly. And see that little tiny amount of space. Now Darge can either fix the man and give it to Kyle Stain, or he can take it himself. And Rory Darge decides to go for the line. They drew in Balakoon brilliantly, and the try is scored. Balakoon's been caught out a few times now, so that might be something he'd want to shore up, but he's been brilliant. So I would cut him any slack because he's been so good. Crowley kind of gets caught in no man's land here as well. So it has to be said, yeah, it has to be said that Crowley was poor for this one. I will say, I have to say, yeah, he just gets kind of caught. And Balakoon, to be fair, tries to get back, having committed to Grant Gilchrist, and Rory Darge goes through well, gets a deserved try. So now we get to it, and it's 5 points, only five in the difference, but Ireland did well to pull away. So I know I should have let the push by Ringrose. You gotta love it. Just shut up, you. Because now you could think Ireland could have folded here, and it was a make or break moment. We got the bonus point. The fact that we kicked on from this is what I really like about us, and I think going into a World Cup, it's exactly what you want to see. Tommy O'Brien getting the brace too. Very happy for him. He deserves it. He hits this line brilliantly. You'll see him coming around now. So he just waits, bides his time. Now really good hands here by Frawley, Crowley and Frawley working together. Two lads who were left out of the team in place of Sam Prendergast, both combining well here. Frawley hits that line, but just look how Crowley takes it and then gets hit. He always takes to the line and draws in the defenders, and that's the difference here. He's in a great position. He sucks in two defenders, Bradbury and Hugh Jones. And Frawley hits the line perfectly. Bradbury's able to get around, but a really good pass, and Tommy O'Brien flies onto that and he's gone. Tommy Zoo. Anyone ever remember that cartoon? It was really good. I used to love it. Me and my brother would watch, but brilliant finish by O'Brien. Well done. Deservedly. He really deserved the try. He's been so good. And Michael Mill, I just want to shout out for Michael Mill as well, because I was worried that he wouldn't get in the team. He has done nothing wrong. I'm glad to see him back in the side. And it just goes to show we do have the players, they just weren't getting picked. And that's the argument I've been making to Andy Farrell. But the people who are saying we just don't have the depth, we don't have the talent. Balakoon is the athlete. You know, we've got the likes of Tommy O'Brien, who was an athlete. We've got big Stu. Stu McCluskey's been brilliant. Nick Timoney is one hell of an athlete. You know, look outside of Leinster and Munster to a degree, you know, but Ulster, the Ulster men stand up. They've been so good. That man, really, really happy for him. I was shocked to see him dropped for the second game of the season against Italy, because I didn't think he put a foot wrong against France, you know. But he's back. It's good to see. You look at it here, really good link-up play. Frawley comes around here very well, and Crowley links up brilliantly with them. It's so well worked. Really good carry by Bundy. Really good to see Bundy back in the team. They're at sixes and sevens here. Had to do it. Crowley hits that space. Frawley comes around so well, and then O'Brien hits the gap. When you fix the man and draw in the defenders, even though Bradbury's able to readjust, because Crowley takes out Hugh Jones, Bradbury can't get around fast enough. Frawley's hands are perfect. Stain is committed here as well. We've got a 3-on-1. We've got three players against one. So even if that goes to O'Brien and Blair Kinghorn jams in, we can give it to Conan, and Conan can give it to Jamie Osborne. Osborne could probably hold back a bit here. He's been good, but there are certain things to his game I just think he needs to adjust. But with a small adjustment, he'll get there. That pass is perfect. He sucks in the defender, commits Bradbury, and Tommy O'Brien is away. Brilliant finish. And Crowley gets the kick, nails it. Another kick nailed. Really good by him. Nails a penalty. So anyone wants to question his goal kicking? So we've had 5 tries now, yeah, and he's only missed 1 conversion. Got a penalty as well. Right, so now this really is just working in my favour. You know, he's got 6 out of 7. It has to be done. All the kids are right. It's funny. But he's nailed it. He's only missed 1, and that was right over on the right hand touchline, which is more difficult for a right footed kicker. Typically, it's easier taking it on the left hand touchline, so I'm told. And then we wrapped it up so well. So we wrapped it up perfectly. Really good. And I'm delighted for Tommy O'Brien. He was an outstanding player. So Scotland look like they might get a consolation here, but we say no. McCluskey again is on the ball, and quite literally and metaphorically on the ball here and on the ball physically. Gets it into hand here, gets a lovely offload, brilliant offload, and O'Brien has the pace. So look at that. The transition play is just so good. From man to woman. He gets it into his hands and then little dink over the top. So that's 7 try assists then he has. And O'Brien still has a lot to do here. but the pace just too much. Great finish, really good. The two gingers celebrate. And his opposite 12 as well. So Tui Pilatu makes the mistake, doesn't react properly, but McCluskey does. Has it tucked in here in the breadbasket, then transitions, sees his teammate, and pops it over to him really well. Great pass. And a brilliant finish by O'Brien. You can see what it means. I love saying that. And that's the thing. People might say, oh, yeah, we were all being very harsh, and now that Ireland are winning, we're being positive. Well, duh, because we knew the team could do this. We knew they could give this performance. And it's actually quite annoying that we left it so late to find our form. Now, 4 wins out of 5, but that's the same as last Six Nations. But the difference here is that we played so much better. This game was brilliant. The game against England, we were brilliant. The performance against Italy and the performance against Wales, not great, but we got a bonus point win against Wales. Yeah, who, had a big kick up the arse today. They played really well against Italy. Very poor from the Italians. But what a moment. And look where that kick is from. So people who were questioning Jack Crowley, that's right out on the left-hand touchline. And this proves my point that it's easier for a right-footed kicker on the left-hand touchline compared to the right. He nails this one. Right down the middle as well. What a way to end it. So good. And we get the triple crown. Well done, guys. And good for Caelan Doris as well. A really good moment. I know it seemed weird that I'm finishing on the game for Ireland, but I wanted to end it on a positive note because and it's put me in a better mood ending on that because the game against France for England, they were very good, England, it has to be said. But I'm saying it has to be said because it does have to be said. Heartbreak for us. But I wanted to end it on a brilliant Irish performance, and that's why I didn't end it on the England France game because I wanted us to remember that Ireland played brilliantly. And yeah, I know they weren't great against Wales, but Wales are on the up and in the right direction. And I wouldn't be too harsh on them because I thought they did what they needed to do, got a bonus point win. They came very close, and it was quite grim at the start of the tournament. So the reason why people were being so negative is because we know Ireland are capable of this. We knew Prendergast wasn't the right man for the job. Crowley stepped up and made that his own. There was 8 kicks and he got 7 of them. Like Prendergast missed 2 kicks that were very easy against Italy, nearly right in front of the post. So a blind man could see it. Stevie Wonder could see it. Prendergast wasn't the man for the job. He's physically frail as well. He needs time to develop. Crowley has stepped up. And I felt like they kind of threw Crowley under the bus by starting against England. And that was a real sink or swim moment. And he certainly swam. So, no, good way to end it. It's unfortunate that game, England and France. Oh, what a heartbreaker. We were so close. Irish people, our blood pressure is all high, and I know it's on the rise, but it must be on the rise because of the Irish teams. They can't just lose graciously. They can't just get hammered like good boys. They have to reel us in, suck us in and make us think we're going to win. And then we get so close and bam, our fucking hopes and dreams are crushed. But as I say, I wanted to end it on a positive note. A really good win against a team I can't stand. I love Scottish people. But that Scottish team, I just can't stand them. Out of all the teams, it's just the way they go on. They have been good, like it has to be said. And again, it has to be said. But, I'm going to say it. They did do very well. They played well, not blind. Finn Russell had a very good game. Has a lot of mistakes in him. It can be quite arrogant. Never said he wasn't a good player, but I just don't like his attitude. I think he's lazy. I think he costs his team by throwing stupid passes that aren't on. And if you don't believe me, watch the highlights of the game against Italy last year when he threw a pass directly to Nacho Rex for a try. But Scotland were okay today. It's just that Ireland were better. And we beat them. We did really well. I'm very happy. I think we've done excellent. I thought that the Italian performance was very poor, and we could have got the bonus point win. We played well against Wales in parts. Wales made us play badly because they were very good, and they are on the up. That game against Italy proves it. And Reece Carey with one hell of a try. Should be a winger, 21 and a half stone winger. The man in Antolo who says white men can't compete. But no, I am happy because a bonus point win against Wales, a bonus point win against England, and a bonus point win against Scotland. That ain't bad at all. I think Jack Crowley has proven he is the man for the job. Let Sam Prendergast develop at Leinster. Give him time. He needs time. He's not ready for this. We've got enough players that are already set to go. Give them a chance. They proved their worth. And let's go. I'm looking forward to the World Cup now, and I'm looking a lot more positive now. I think we have a chance. And we've seen players come in and make a difference. Nick Timoney has been very good. He's come in very explosive. Michael Milne, I thought, has been impressive. Jeremy Lockman has impressed me in the loose. Tom O'Toole, in fairness to him, put in 19 tackles, I think, today as a loose head prop and scrummaged very well. So I got to hold my hand up in the middle. I was wrong. He's done a good job at loose head, so that's positive. Tadhg Furlong much better in the scrums and had a real contribution around the field. Jack Conan, very good. But I'm talking about kind of new players coming in. But Jack Conan is one of my favourite players. Against Wales in a game where we dominated possession, 18 tackles, 2 turnovers, and 1 try. Outstanding. And they keep saying he's a controversial selection. Why? Because he's always bloody good. But Tadhg Byrne, representing the Byrne name, brilliant. Just nothing needs to be said, really. Him and John McCarthy have worked brilliantly together. And McCarthy seems to always just swim through the ball, grab the ball. He's great at coming through the middle and staying the ball, but he also makes those big physical carries. But the standout have to be the Ulster man. It has to be. They've been so good. We've seen Balaku come in and be an absolute weapon. He's a machine. And he makes big tackles, scores tries, finishes brilliantly, great in the air under the high ball. But Big Stew, take a bow, Big Stew, because 33 years of age, you could easily say your career is done, but he's kept going. He's been outstanding. 7 try assists now. Didn't get any himself, which I think he's unlucky with. He deserved a try, but he's just been such a good target man. We seem to think in Ireland that has to be an intimidating player that can do that sort of thing. Big Stew says otherwise. So no, a great day for Irish rugby, and I mentioned as well for Jamie Osborne and Tommy O'Brien, 2 Leinster men who've come in and done very well, in my opinion. Very unfortunate that Tommy O'Brien got dropped. When he came back against England, he did exactly what he needed to do, and it's a player I'm very fond of. Great day for Ireland, really good win. I wrap it up there, guys. Heartbreak in the end, but let's end it on a positive note. All right, slán go fóill.